Good evening to everyone. Good night or good morning, depending on the time that you are going to watch this. We are recording also this class. So, for those that cannot be live and those who also want to then review all the things that we are going to talk today, we are going to share the YouTube link with the class. I don't know if those who are here live is the first time that they are joining us, or they you have been part of the first class last month when we spoke about anxiety. If you can write there in the chat where are you connecting from, and if it's the first time or the second time that you are joining this gathering. If it's the first time that you are joining this space, let me talk about a little bit about the goal or the main objective of this space. It doesn't pretend to be like a deep class with too much information. The main goal of this is to give you tools in order to not only understand all the emotional system that we have, but also for you to have tools, skills, so you can manage the emotions. I don't know if it's the first time that you are listening about understanding our emotions. um, there is plenty information in these times post-pandemic about mental health, and it's good uh, for us to hear that a lot of people is talking about this, because we are living in a time where um, people really need to receive tools and skill for the times that we are facing nowadays. It's much difference. It's a huge difference. Um, for example, if you remember your grandparents, your parents, the way in how they used to live their childhood, and also being an adult, they had worries. Yes, they had situations that they were facing daily, but we can see nowadays how um, we find how we can see people that don't tolerate too much depression, the frustration, the situations of stress. They can handle, but they become more overwhelmed. In the meantime, they face too much like problems, daily problems, and this is because the times we are living nowadays are hard times, but we can also say that we are living times where we are able to receive this kind of information that 10 years ago there weren't too much people talking about this, and we are glad to see that there are problems, but there are also spaces or places where we can receive skills, tools, information, so we can handle with all this. Let me refresh the things that we talked the first session, the first class, about understanding our emotions. We don't pretend to teach you or to say you that okay, you don't have to feel anything. No, there is not such way of living the life, because we are going to feel, we are going to have fear, we are going to have anxiety, we are going to have anger, we are going to have sadness, we are going to have plenty emotions in the day by day, in the life that we are living. But what we want to teach you in these classes sessions is how to manage that emotions, because we are going to give you some tools in order for you to understand that you can manage the way in how you feel. It's very different than controlling, because we can control the situation. We talk about last session that our emotions are created inside of us, not because of the things that happen around or outside of us. For example, um, we have an issue or a problem with the car, with the family, and are the events of our outside that are going to um, be handled inside of us, and in the way we handle that outside situation is the way in how we are going to feel. I know that I am talking uh, maybe um, with too many definitions that could be new for you, but let's figure this out like this. The emotions are inside of us, but are not because of the things that happen outside. The emotion take place inside of us because of the way in how we evaluate the outside situations. If you see that, of if you consider that um, breaking your car is the end of the world for you, there is no tomorrow because of that, you're going to feel inside of you with fear, with anger, with anxiety in high levels, because you are seeing all the situation in a catastrophic way, so you are going to feel in that way. Yeah, this was new for me many years ago when I had to face a depression. I was under medication. I was also in a clinic in order to rehab of my depression, and there as I start receiving these kind of tools, skills, in order for me to face the life without dying on the on the train. um, and when I discovered this, me and my wife, she's a psychologist, we start helping people in order to give them tools to understand that they can manage their emotions. We can manage our emotions. We can set boundaries in order not to see all things that happen outside of us in a catastrophic way. We can set those boundaries in order for us to don't die because of the events that happen outside. Anybody dies because of fear. Anybody dies because of anxiety. There is not such a thing. No, I heard a person that deceased because of a heart attack, but um, we are not talking about that. We are talking about that we are living daily in a way in where we see all things that are catastrophic for ourselves, and we are feeling on that way. So we were talking about this on the first session that we talk about anxiety. If you didn't participate on that session, there is a link of the class in YouTube, so you can text us, or in the WhatsApp channel you can see all the information there. We're going to try to make one session per month, and maybe in a few months later we can try to make two sessions. The sessions are going to be 45 minutes, 50 minutes, in order for you to refresh the knowledge. And the main goal, as I was talking at the beginning, is to give you tools so you can identify the emotions that you are dealing with in a high level. We have people that don't deal too much with fear, with anxiety, but they get angry because of everything, and because of that lack of management of the emotions, they are dysfunctional. There is no problem in feeling, in having the emotion, or having that feeling. There is no problem. The problem is when the emotions um, change our way of behaving. If you We are going to be sad, we are going to be with fear, we are going to be with anxiety, but if that emotion, for example the fear that we are going to talk today, if the fear is so huge for you, is in a high level, and is not letting you to go outside, to be with people, to be in a mall where there is a crowd, and you have fear of the crowd, or you an illness appear in some of your childs or in your body, and you start thinking about that you are going to die, that's the worst things that is happening to you, and you start acting in a dysfunctional way. And that's the point that we need to handle. If we don't, if we can manage the emotion and we start like uh, canceling our plans. I was going to meet with a person, and I start feeling with anxiety, and I start feeling with fear, and I start feeling and thinking that no, I'm gonna die. If I drive today in the middle of the rain, I'm going to die. And the fear is really, really in a high level inside of me. And the main goal was I was going to uh, have some time with a friend because I need to help him. And when the emotion start like disrupting the the goals that we have, there we have a dysfunctional behavior. So if we change the emotion, not the emotion, if we change the way in how we manage the emotion, we are going to change our behavior. And it's easy to tell, but it's hard to apply. It's hard to live in this way, but we are going to go step by step to give you tools. In the first time, um, the first step is that you need to identify the emotions that you fight with them in high levels. No, I have problems, real problems with the with anxiety, with fear, with because I see all the time danger, 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 and I prefer to stay at home, don't go outside, don't do anything because of the fear. Okay, there you have a problem, and you have to start considering in the way you are managing that emotion. And we are going to work on the intensity that we give to that emotion. We are not going to change the emotion. We are not going to, I am not going to tell you, don't feel in that way. No, because you are going to feel fear, you are going to feel anxiety. What I am telling to you is, okay, you are going to feel that, but you can manage that situation. You can handle that situation. You can change your way of thinking. And if you change your way of thinking, you are going to change your behavior. So let's jump in on the main subject of today. Here we go. Can you see the presentation? If you can write on the chat, if you are seeing, there is a picture that says how we can face the fear. Excellent. Perfect. Okay, there we go. How we can face the fear. In the first step is to identify. Yeah, that was I was talking about. Let me handle this. Identify in the first place. And the fear may be for you a protector or a prison guard. In the way we see the events that happen outside of us, we are going to see that this emotion is going to be a protector for us, or it's going to be like a prison guard, because it's going to set us in a prison, and it's going to be there, that emotion is going to um, paralyze us. It's going to say, oh, step, you can't move anymore. Is danger there. There is danger there. You can't move anymore. You are in a prison. But also could be a protector, because many times the emotion of fear act in us in a way of protection. For example, you are walking on the mall in the mall with your family, and a man approach one of your child with a knife. So you feel fear. You start feeling that emotion. um you are there, you are going to act in a protector way. You are going to protect the ones you love. You are receiving the alert sign, you are receiving there is danger, but you are acting as a protector. And if you act uh, with fear in a dysfunctional way, you are going to paralyze there. You're going to you are not going to be able to move because you freeze. That's what I talk, what I teach when I talk about prison guard. You freeze, you paralyze, you can move, you can't move, you can't make any sound, you can't talk, you can't think properly, because that thing that is happening to you, that is fear, is freezing all inside of you. And also uh, many times in your body, you are going to feel that emotion in your body. When you feel fear, you're going to feel maybe oppression on the chest. You're going to um, uh, maybe you are going to be to have like difficulty for you to breathe. You're going to start feeling that emotion on your body. Yeah. What is fear? That was when I talk about in a protector way, I was talking about this: a defensive mechanism in response to potential danger. It triggers preventive behaviors. So fear is not bad. Fear is good, and we need to understand this. It's not the same to have fear that to live in fear. There are two different things. Fear, we are going to feel fear, but we decide if we are going to live in fear. Mm? Because fear is a good thing if it's going to trigger ourself, our whole system, if it's going to trigger in order to prevent uh, bad things that take place in our life. Yeah, we're going to explain that a little bit more. What's the problem with fear? The problem arises when it negatively affects the quality of lives and ends up guiding our decision making. That's the problem with fear, when paralyze your life and you can't decide what to do because of fear, of the fear. And it can push us into dysfunctional, as I was talking about a few minutes before, because the functional behavior that put our life or our productivity at risk. Yeah, the problem arises when this emotion affects us in a negative way. It start like guiding our life, and we start like being friends of this emotion. And being friends in which way? We start asking fear what we can and what we cannot do. We are not deciding with freedom, because if the fear is there as the first option in making a decision, that is going to guide your life. If you are all the time, can I do this, can I do that, can I take this risk, can I, for example, uh, I used to help people facing fear in flying, and they weren't able to decide if they can go to another country, another city, because the fear was there telling them what to do, what they can and what they cannot do. So the problem is there when we stop doing things because of fear. That's the problem with fear. What belief is behind fear? We are going to talk about deep belief. In all the sessions, we are going to bring this concept again and again, because it's the main thing that we need to understand. Because if we understand the belief, the belief that is under the fear and all the emotions, we are going to understand what we need to change in our mind, in our thoughts, in order to change the way in how we feel, and also the way in how we react. So there we go. This is the belief that is that fear is like, if we have a table uh, with two structures. We have here the table, two structures that are like holding the table, are going to be these two things. Something bad will happen, and there is nothing I can do to change what will happen. And also, the second one is this one. I am not being able to face it. So the deep belief of the emotion of fear is this: something bad is going to happen, and I don't have the tools, I don't have the skills in order to face it. I can face this situation. Start like recognizing the things that you have fear in your life, and try to identify this belief and these thoughts. If that thing, that event, or the thing that triggered you the fear in your life, can you identify if you have this thought, this belief? Something bad is going to happen, and I am not being able to solve that situation. That's the structure of the fear. So if we work on the way in how we see the future, we are going to start like changing um, the way in how we evaluate the events. Okay, yeah, bad things happen all the time, but what if I start thinking that maybe in this in this problem that I'm facing, a good things a good thing is going to happen? And what happen if we start thinking that we are going to be able to handle that situation? The way in how we are going to react to that is going to be different. It's going to be, okay, not only in an optimist way, but also in a confidence that you didn't experience before, because you were all the time thinking that you are not enough, you are not brave enough, you are not smart enough, you are not I don't know. Well, you need to also, you need also to identify the areas where you feel more fear. Some people feel fear in the financial area because they came from a childhood where they suffer a lot, and now that maybe they have money, maybe they have resources, but they are all the time with uh, mentality of in some point this is going to end. In some point, I am not going to have enough. In some point, I am going to suffer again because I am not feeling secure because of the way in how I lived it years ago. We need to understand also that the mentality, the mindset, is created in the person in the first 8 years. So, in the way how you live your childhood, if you didn't solve the things, the trauma, the wounds, the suffering, if you didn't solve those things, maybe now as an adult you are dealing with that you are feeling insecure all the time, you are feeling um that you are alone, you don't feel protect, you don't feel with confidence because maybe your parent or your father abandoned you, maybe, or I don't know. There are plenty traumas. We are going to have a class about trauma, and we are going not only to teach but also to give tools in order for you to handle those traumas. But start thinking again, and if you are taking notes, you can if you never did this, you can try to, okay, remember the my childhood. I'm going to write, okay, I didn't have a father, the economy of the financial area in the house was really bad. We suffer sometimes. Okay, start to identify those things. If you are nowadays as an adult dealing with feeling lack of confidence, lack of security, lack of protection, and you are all the time with fear, all the time with anxiety. Okay, there we have some things that we can start like working on that. Yeah, I don't pretend to give you all the solutions in a 45 session, but we're going to bring to the table all the things that we can in order for you to receive tools, to receive skills in order for you to handle those situations. We are here for that. We create this space in English. We are from Argentina. We don't speak English. We are doing our effort because we live now in Georgia, Atlanta, and we see in this country that these issues are a daily issue in the society, and we find not only adults, youth, teens that are dealing with fear, with anxiety, and they may know don't have the tools or the information or the resources in order for them to handle those situations. That's why we are here, uh, to give some tools, to give help for people that is dealing with all these kind of things. So if it good for you, you can then share all this information, the classes, to people that may need this kind of help. Yeah, we are going to run a little bit. The problem is when fear starts guiding our decision, as I was talking minutes before. Some thoughts that may appear if fear is there. I don't dare start my own business because I will fail. I am thinking on the future, and I am thinking that myself on that situation is not going to be able to um, handle that problem. I'm afraid of ending up alone, so I stay in a violent relationship. In order not to be alone, I resist, and I decide to stay with a violent husband, with a violent wife, because I am with fear because of the future, and the fear is guiding all my decisions. Principles for facing fear. The environment for confrontation are created in our mind, in our thoughts. We need to change the belief system that supports and sustains our fears. Don't think anymore that all the bad things are going to happen. Are going to happen bad things, but also are going to happen good things. But let's be direct with this. What happens if I receive a bad news? I go to the doctor, and the doctor tell me, okay, you have this disease, you have 1 year of life. Okay, you have a real situation. You have a bad thing that is going to happen in the future, but the thing that you can work on it and you can change inside of you is the way in how you are going to face that situation. You are going to face lack of confidence, or you are going to face that situation with confidence. Okay, these things, this bad thing is going to happen, but i can I can deal with that. I can go through that. I can face it. The way in how we solve the fear is confronting the situation that uh, triggered the fear in us. For example, how a person that has fear in talking to others can face that emotion. Okay, do the thing that trigger the fear on you. If you have fear in talking to other people, start talking to other people. There is an example: people that are not being able to go in an elevator. No, I can be there because I start feeling that I cannot breathe. Uh, so I go to the stairs all the time, no matter if it is only 1 floor, 2 floors, 10 floors, 20 floors. I'm going to choose the stairs. Okay, you have to face that fear. You're not going to go to the elevator at the first time. How you can face that fear? Start seeing, for example, videos of people entering in an elevator. Go to a building and stay in front of the elevator for 1 minute. See how other people enter to the elevator. Okay, the next time you are going to enter to the elevator is not going to move. You can go with someone else and to be there with stopping the elevator for you, but you can enter, stay 5 seconds, breathe, and go out. Then stay for 10 seconds, then for a minute, and the next time you're going to go 1 floor, and the next time you're going to go 2 floors, until the point that the fear is not anymore all over you. You face that situation. You cannot face the situation maybe in the first time in a direct way. Okay, you are going to face that fear in a progressive way. So you can start building inside of you the confidence. Okay, I can do that. I can do this. I can handle this situation. And the fear, the voice of the fear is going to be in silence. When you didn't face this situation, the voice of the fear was in a high volume inside of you. Don't do that. Danger, 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 danger. And you step outside the thing that make you feel fear. Okay, that voice, danger, danger, is going to, okay, it's not too bad. I can handle this. I can do it. I can face this. You start feeling with confidence, and the confidence is going to give you the right view of the future. You are going to be able to face that, and the belief system start changing. Now your belief system is changing because you are receiving new information that is, okay, you are maybe now you are with more questions than answer than rather than answers, but okay, you start like arguing with yourself. You start a discussion with you. Why I am freeze in this situation? Because of the fear. Okay, the first step: identify the area where the fear is guiding your life. The next step that you have to make is to confront that fear in a progressive way until the point you feel with confidence and confront directly that situation. Also, the decision to take a risk. That's the way how we face fear. We are going to make the decision to take a risk. If I have fear to travel, to drive long distance, or to travel in plane, okay, I decide to take the risk. I decide to face that fear. That fear is not going to guide my life anymore. I'm going to start taking risk. When we face our fears, we need to understand that we will take risk. Our decision is to accept those risks. You are going to suffer. No, I don't want to suffer. You are going to suffer. But you are going to suffer with a purpose. What's the purpose of all this? That the fear is not going to guide you anymore. You are going to handle that situation with maturity. You are going to face that situation with bravery. This is really helpful if you are dealing with fear. Probability versus possibility. Evaluating the events, the things that happen outside of us, through the lens of possibility rather than probability can produce fear. If we are thinking all the time in the possibility, is really high the level of possibility that you are going to die if you go outside of if you take a plane. Yeah, you can die, but what's the probability? I was helping um, a person that was dealing with the fear of taking a plane. The possibility of having an accident, you can have it outside on the freeway, also, but also in the air. But what's the probability of that? And I talked to him. Yearly, uh, people die more frequently of car accidents rather than a plane accident. So the probability of the planes going down is really really low. So you can start like talking to yourself on the things that um, you have fear, or the areas that you have fear and that are freezing you. You can start talking, discussing with yourself. Okay, there is plenty possibility of this to take place, to happen, but what's the probability? And you are not going to evaluate the events anymore through the lens of possibility. You are going to start evaluating the event through the lens of probability, and you are going to start discussing with yourself. Probably, yeah, but I can deal with that. And one other thing that it may help you in order to face the fear is to make this question to yourself: what's the worst thing that can happen because of this? I have fear in driving because I think that if I drive, I'm going to die. I'm a Christian. And what's the worst thing that may happen on that? You're going to die. And if you die, you go to heaven. No, I have fear on the disease of the having an illness. And what's the worst thing that may happen of that? Uh, you may end up on a clinic with meds, uh, but you can handle that. We can always handle situations. Also, in the worst situation of dying, we can handle that in order to feel in a different way inside of us, and also to walk daily with another perspective of life, enjoying the present. We live too much time uh, being worried about the future that we don't enjoy the present. And the present is that it's a gift, it's a present, but we don't we don't enjoy that because we are too much thinking on the things that are going to take place in our life in the future. And if we feel with fear, we are going to uh, see ourselves without the confidence, without the tools, skills to face and to handle that situation. Know who we are and define what we can do. If we know who we are going to define what we can do. If we recognize ourselves as cowards, we are going to uh, be stuck on that. If we see ourselves lack of bravery, we are going to be defined in that way, and we are going to act in that way. So one thing that I saw the other day in, I don't know how many of you have seen the show Grey's Anatomy. The doctors were, before entering to the surgery, the doctor were like doing a poster of superheroes. They were putting their arms like this, and they were standing like a superhero. And the woman that was teaching this to others said, you need to believe that you are that, because in the way that you see yourself, you're going to act. And I stay meditating on that, because many times we don't see as a superheroes. We don't see ourselves with bravery. So the things that are triggering the fear on us, find on us people that are not seeing themselves as capable to handle those situations. So you can stay in front of the mirror and do this, and start thinking about yourself, the positive things, and that you are able to handle those situations, so you can move forward on that. Build self-confidence. Look at your present and become aware of your resources. Set short and achievable goals. The thing that I was playing with the person that was with fear on entering on an elevator. Short and achievable goals. Then you start for the elevator, and then you're going to take a plane, and then you're going to face the fear in a progressive way also. Each accomplishment will strengthen your inner sense of capability. So you're going to start building this self confidence. Study, prepare, and keep learning. One thing that is going to help you is to keep on learning, preparing yourself, being part of these sessions. Not only this, because this isn't the the coke in the middle of the desert, but participating in this kind of environments give you self confidence, give you skills, tools, information. Okay, I am not the only one. These issues take place in many in many life, and you can start building this self confidence, studying, learning about this, learning about fear, learning about emotions, learning about um, how to manage all these things that are taking place in your life. Choose the people you surround yourself with. This is a very important point on building your self confidence. Uh, Spend time with people that can build on you a strength, that can build on you faith. Um, don't spend time with people that are talking badly all the time, that are um, arguing all the time, that are complaining all the time, because you are going to see the world according to the words that you find on them. And if you gather with people that are talking to you, no, you can handle this, you can do it, you can, okay, try this, try that, try in this way. I read a book that helped me a lot, so try with this. And those things and the relationships are really important. We're going to talk about in one session about relationships. uh, Help you a lot to build this self-confidence that you need in order to face the fear. Confront fears in our mind. Ask ourselves every relevant question about the situation. How we can work on this. Identify the situation that is triggering you fear. Okay, identify that situation and start um, discussing. Start like a discussion with yourself. Start asking yourself about that situation. Why I can handle this situation, why I am seeing that this event is the worst thing that is going to happen in the future, and I am not going to be able to solve that solution, to solve that situation. Sorry. Start asking yourself questions, relevant questions, with all the thing that we talk about in this session. Try to, okay, write it down. Try to meditate. Try to, okay, if I had a goal, I was going to go outside and spend some time with friends, and because of the fear I didn't do it. Why I react in that way? And you are going to start finding the answers. Could be that you are not seeing yourself with confidence, you are not feeling secure of yourself, you are not uh, thinking about yourself that you are able to handle those situations. Okay, that's the a way in how you can uh, build self-confidence, but start changing your way of thinking, so you can start change the way in how you react. Those were the main points about how we can face the fear. Is a chapter that we can talk hours and hours and hours, um, but I decided to make this presentation with the main points, to be very specific for you to try to take note or understand in a properly way, so you can start making some changes. um, if you want to write there, if you have some question, and if we have maybe a few minutes to answer those questions, or if you can write there in the chat if this information was new for you, the first time that you hear about understanding your emotions and the way in how we can manage the level, the intensity. You can write there if you want, um, in the chat, if you have a question about the thing that we teach today, and if we can help you answering that question, we're here for that too. As I told, this is being recorded. Tomorrow is going to be uploaded on YouTube. We are going to share all this in the WhatsApp channel. If you are not in the WhatsApp channel, if someone send you the link directly, and you didn't join to the WhatsApp, I'm going to put here so you can join. And during the month, we share some information PDF. Victor, it's very helpful not only to understand but to help more people with their fear. That's good. If you are here because you are helping others, is a good space too. Okay, thank you very much for being there. We're going to join last week of March. We're going to have the third session, and we are going to talk about sadness, how to overcome sadness, how to identify this emotion, and how to manage. So, if you want to be there you have the link of the WhatsApp channel, and you can send to others for them to participate. And if you have questions, you can write us, so we can help you more. Yeah. Thank you so much for being there. God bless you. And I hope that these things that we share with you today were helpful for you and for the people that you are helping. God bless you. See you next month. Bye bye.